Assalamu alaikum to everyone watching. My name is Hamza, your host today on HAFIZ TV. In honor of Women's History Month, today we are going to be exploring the lives of female historical figures in Islam and their contributions. Today's episode will be focused on the life of Nusayba bint Kab, a warrior in Islam. It's unknown about the year that she was born in, but what is known is that she embraced Islam with great strength and that she was a member of the tribe Najjar. And she was a mother to two boys who also fought in the Battle of Uhud. So before Islam, little is known about her life as to where she was born or where she grew up. Her story begins when, after the teaching of Mus'ab bin Omar, 74 people, correct, descended on the second pledge at the Al-Aqaba to declare their allegiance to the Prophet, peace be upon him. And within those 74 people, there were two women inside of that group. So Nusayba was one of those people, and the other was Muni Asma bint Amr bin Adi. So although the women did swear their allegiance, as well as the 74 people, directly to the Prophet, peace be upon him, he didn't shake their hands as he did with the men. And that was because of, the constraints regarding contact with people of the opposite gender. So later on, after she swore her allegiance and became a Muslim, she returned to the city of Medina and began to teach Islam to other women in that city. Now we come to her role in the Battle of Uhud. And in that battle, she tended the wounded and gave fresh water to soldiers, as did most women during that time. When people went to war, women were sometimes allowed, because before, in historical times, women actually weren't allowed on the battlefield because it was considered that the sight would be too grisly for them or too gory for them. So she was on the field that day, tending to the wounded, watching over the soldiers. It was later on that she took a more active part, a more soldier part in the battle, when the Muslim soldiers disobeyed the Prophet's, peace be upon him, command, and they came down from the hill where they were not supposed to. So the tide of the battle just started going against them, and the Muslims were being defeated. So she removed her sword from its sheath, and then she got her bow, and she joined a small group of soldiers who were guarding the Prophet, peace be upon him, and acted as a human shield. So she was wounded herself, and later on did she did heal from her wounds. And although when scholars are explaining her role in Islam, the Battle of Uhud tends to come up, she was also present at the signing of treaties, such as the Treaty of Al-Akbar, where she declared her allegiance to Islam. So, and also not just part of that battle, but she did take an active role in the Battle of Al-Yamamah during the reign of Abu Bakr. And she lost her hand in that battle. So after that, she also did rule. She did also live through the rule of Umar bin al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu. And at the end of the day, the end of her life was just as mysterious as the beginning of her life. It's not known when she died, but it's not known the exact year when she died. But what is known is that she did die in the 13th year after Hijrah, and she was buried in Mecca, which is still to this day, present day Mecca. So, going back to the lives of her two children, which who were Abdullah and Habib bin Zayd al-Ansari, who did take an active role in the Battle of Uhud, they were later killed, and as well as their father, her husband. And she later on remarried, and she married the husband of her companion, who she accepted Islam along with, who is Muni Asma bint Amr bin Adi. And she married her husband, and they had two more children who also were active contributors to Islam. So that is pretty much it. So this series is really important to me, and not just to me, but to so many women, because when we talk about Women's History Month, we're hearing stories about all these women who contributed to different fields, and we rarely hear about the ones in Islam. And even when we hear about them, we hear about Aisha radiallahu anha, we hear about Khadija radiallahu anha, we hear about more prominent figures. And the ones that are lesser known are sometimes pushed to the dark. So in this series, this is my way of bringing their stories to light and highlighting their contributions. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I'm your host, and I hope to see you next time, same place, same date. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum.
HAFIZ TV, unique every day.